When the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, or SAARC, was established in 1985, it carried the weight of a region's aspirations. Envisioned as a platform for economic integration, cultural exchange, and political dialogue, SAARC was meant to transcend historical hostilities and guide South Asia toward collective progress. But over the decades, those lofty ambitions have steadily unraveled. Summits are repeatedly postponed or outright cancelled. Initiatives remain perpetually stalled, and behind closed doors, the organization's most powerful members have already begun looking elsewhere. In the vacuum left by SAARC's paralysis, a new wave of alliances is gaining momentum. Smaller, more targeted groupings that favour pragmatism over protocol. From BIMSTEC's focus on the Bay of Bengal to the Quad's strategic pushback against China, these mini-lateral formations reflect a deeper shift in regional diplomacy. No longer constrained by the need for unanimous consent or bound by historical grievances, countries like India are pivoting towards alliances that work. So, is this the end of SAARC as we know it? And if so, what does that mean for the future of South Asia's regional order? Welcome to the Global Insight. Mini-lateral alliances are the sleek new vessels navigating the turbulent waters of global diplomacy. Unlike traditional multilateral groupings that strive to include every neighbour under a big tent philosophy, mini-lateralism trims the fat. These are small, focused coalitions made up of countries with shared priorities. Whether it's countering maritime threats, boosting trade, or investing in new technologies. Crucially, membership isn't dictated by geography alone, but by a willingness to act and a convergence of strategic interests. This model is particularly appealing to countries like India, who have grown weary of inertia that plagues broader multilateral forums like SAARC. By choosing collaboration over consensus, India is finding that it can move faster and achieve more. Mini-lateralism offers flexibility without the baggage of historical rivalries or the need for unanimous agreement. It's not about excluding others, it's about not waiting for the unwilling. For India, the pivot to these smaller, purpose-driven alliances marks a decisive break from old regional paradigms. In the shadow of SAARC's dysfunction, BIMSTEC has emerged as a quieter but more functional alternative. Formerly known as the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, BIMSTEC includes 7 countries spanning South and Southeast Asia. That's India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, and Thailand. Its geographical footprint mirrors India's growing strategic ambitions, connecting the Himalayas to the Bay of Bengal and offering a corridor to Southeast Asian markets and influence. Since the 2016 Uri attack derailed India-Pakistan relations, BIMSTEC has become a vital tool in India's regional playbook. The key attraction? Pakistan isn't part of it. Without that perennial point of friction, dialogue flows more freely and collaboration becomes a more realistic proposition. India's pivot towards BIMSTEC is also a cornerstone of its Act East policy, which aims to deepen ties with Southeast Asia. Through this framework, India envisions a more integrated regional economy, enhanced connectivity, and collective action on security and climate. However, BIMSTEC is not without its flaws. Political instability in Myanmar poses a serious challenge, and the bloc's projects often suffer from bureaucratic delays and uneven commitment. Still, as SAARC continues to stagnate, BIMSTEC represents a more promising, if imperfect, platform for India's regional aspirations. I2U2, bringing together India, Israel, the United Arab Emirates and the United States, is one of the clearest signs yet of India's expanding diplomatic bandwidth. Unlike traditional alliances built around security or shared borders, I2U2 is rooted firmly in economic collaboration. It's a mini-lateral platform targeting food security, clean energy, advanced water technologies, and resilient supply chains. Announced formally in 2022, this partnership reflects a deliberate westward shift in India's foreign policy, one that looks beyond regional entanglements toward global opportunity. For New Delhi, It's a way to deepen strategic relationships while attracting high-value investments and technological expertise. This isn't an alliance built on ideology or shared political systems, it's built on mutual benefit and a shared vision of modernization. Through I2U2, India gains access to Israeli innovation, Emirati capital and American market power, creating a unique synergy that bypasses the diplomatic gridlock of South Asian politics. According to the joint statement from the White House in 2022, the focus is on pragmatic cooperation, building food corridors, funding renewable energy parks, and harnessing smart infrastructure solutions. For India, I2U2 represents a future where influence is not just about power, but about partnerships that deliver results. The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or better known as the Quad, has become a cornerstone of India's evolving security strategy. Revived in 2017, the grouping brings together India, the United States, Japan and Australia in a shared response to China's assertiveness across the Indo-Pacific. While it stops short of being a formal military alliance, the Quad is deeply strategic, focusing on issues like maritime security, cyber resilience, critical technology and diversified supply chains. Its true strength lies in its agility, enabling major regional powers to coordinate their responses to emerging threats without the burden of a treaty-bound commitment. For India, the Quad is both an opportunity and a delicate dance. It amplifies India's naval reach and maritime surveillance capabilities, particularly as the Indo-Pacific becomes a contested zone of influence. Initiatives like tracking dark shipping, vessels that turn off their location transponders to evade monitoring, demonstrate the Quad's emphasis on maintaining a rules-based order at sea, as reported in the Times of India. At the same time, India remains careful not to align itself too closely with any one power bloc. The Quad allows New Delhi to walk the tightrope between closer ties with the West and the preservation of its cherished strategic autonomy. At its core, SAARC was always meant to be a symbol of unity in a region fraught with historical wounds, but instead of fostering cooperation, it has become a casualty of South Asia's most entrenched rivalry, India and Pakistan. Their persistent tensions over issues ranging from Kashmir and cross-border terrorism to water disputes like the Wular Barrage have systematically derailed SAARC's progress. As a result, key summits have been repeatedly delayed or cancelled and critical initiatives left in diplomatic limbo. According to an in-depth analysis in The Diplomat, these unresolved disputes have created a toxic atmosphere where mutual suspicion overshadows shared interests, leaving SAARC as little more than a ceremonial body. The organization's structural weaknesses have only compounded the problem. Unlike the European Union or ASEAN, SAARC lacks robust economic integration mechanisms and any real enforcement capacity. It cannot compel action or resolve conflicts, it can only suggest. In contrast, mini-laterals like BIMSTEC, I2U2 and the Quad are built for agility. They concentrate on achievable goals like connectivity, energy and maritime security, and they operate through consensus among willing participants. Their success lies in being practical, purpose-driven, and free from the baggage of bilateral animosities. While SAARC remains trapped in its own geopolitical web, these new formats are setting a faster, more functional pace for regional democracy. India's foreign policy is undergoing a profound transformation, one that positions it not as a regional bystander, but as a strategic connector. Through BIMSTEC, India links the economies and security frameworks of South and Southeast Asia, extending its influence across the Bay of Bengal. I2U2 anchors India firmly in a westward corridor of economic innovation that bridges the Middle East and the United States. Meanwhile, the Quad places India at the heart of Indo-Pacific strategy, engaging with global powers on issues from maritime security to emerging technologies. This multifaceted engagement signals that India is no longer confined by its immediate geography. It's building bridges that span continents. This evolution represents a shift from reaction to action. No longer is India waiting for its neighborhood to unify or for SAARC to resuscitate. Instead, it is proactively shaping its strategic environment through mini-lateral partnerships that are functional, focused, and forward-looking. These alliances allow India to pursue its national interests without being shackled by regional deadlock. In embracing this model, India is signaling a new diplomatic doctrine: progress through purposeful alignment, not passive consensus. Resurrecting SAARC in its original form remains a daunting prospect. The fundamental roadblock, India and Pakistan's enduring rivalry, has not eased, and until that relationship stabilizes, meaningful progress through SAARC remains unlikely. The bitterness over Kashmir, security concerns, and competing regional agendas continue to paralyze collective action. Yet all hope is not lost. SAARC may not return as the grand engine of regional integration it once aspired to be, but it could reinvent itself as a platform for soft diplomacy. Areas like climate resilience, public health, and disaster response are less politically charged and offer real potential for cooperative success without igniting diplomatic flashpoints. Still, the momentum of regional collaboration is clearly shifting towards mini-lateralism. According to recent insights from research institutions such as the Institute of Regional Studies and Pakistan's paradigm shift, countries are increasingly prioritizing smaller, regional-oriented groupings. Frameworks like BIMSTEC, I2U2 and the Quad are proving that regional cooperation doesn't require unanimity, it requires alignment of purpose. These platforms offer nations like India the flexibility to engage meaningfully without being tethered to diplomatic gridlock. In this evolving landscape, SAARC may survive, but it is unlikely to lead. Its best hope may lie in becoming a quiet facilitator of soft cooperation while the real work of regional diplomacy is carried out elsewhere. The age of sweeping, all-encompassing regional organizations like SAARC may well be behind us. In its place, a new era of focused, agile alliances has taken root. Alliances built not on the politics of proximity, but on the pragmatism of shared purpose. Mini-lateralism in forms like BIMSTEC, I2U2 and the Quad represent the next generation of regional diplomacy, ones that value results over rhetoric, cooperation over confrontation, and strategic alignment over geographical obligation. India's embrace of these smaller alliances reflects a maturing foreign policy that is both confident and calculated. No longer waiting on consensus from a fractured neighborhood, New Delhi is charting its own course, forming coalitions that function and forging partnerships that produce. These frameworks may not carry the ceremonial gravitas of SAARC, but they deliver where it counts. So, is SAARC truly obsolete, or can it find new relevance in softer forms of cooperation? That's it from the team at the Global Insight for now. We want to hear what you think. How does the decline of SAARC affect you or your region? Do you know somebody whose work or investments are influenced by India's new diplomatic priorities? What do you think about India's pivot towards mini-lateralism? Is it a smart strategy or selective diplomacy? And as always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel here at the Global Insight. And until next time, stay tuned.